So, a couple of rule changes around the NFL.
Okay.
Let's start with this one. The NFL has banned the hip drop tackle. It's essentially a Southern Hemisphere horse collar, is really what it is. I've always thought it to be a dangerous play. It was unanimously approved to ban it from the league. I can already see fans talking about, well, that wasn't really a hip drop. He rolled, he didn't rend on his legs. Like, we're going to be debating about, was that a legal or not legal tackle way too many times this upcoming football season in the NFL. Instead of, making it easy to get right, I'm sure we'll do all it can to make it very easy to screw up week to week. But banning the hip drop tackle is a safety measure that I can get behind. So good on that. No problems there, right?
Well, okay. I mean, this is the tackle that Jimmy Ward took out Tony Pollard a couple years ago in Niners Cowboys in the playoffs.
Right.
And basically it's you tackle the guy up high, you swing your body weight low, and it just chops the guy down like a tree. Now, once again, we have more and more rules that favor the offense in the NFL. It's how does a corner stop Derrick Henry if you can't do that? You know what I mean? How does a 195-pound man stop a 230-pound guy with a head of steam? If you can't somehow swing your body down and into the guy's legs. I mean,
well,
I don't know. I don't like it when I see bigger bodies on smaller bodies, but when I'm now thinking about the corner trying to stop the power back, and I don't know how that's going to happen anymore. Advantage power back.
What we really have is a lack of tackling skills in this league now. I mean, it's the league has football is basically about two things. It's about blocking and tackling. And blocking and tackling in the NFL have never been worse. And I don't know if it's because of the measured practice time you're allowed to just go out and play with now, fewer live reps in practice because it's such a grind of a year. But, better technique will make up for the just, grab hips and fall down. The question is, how will that better technique be coached? How often will it be implemented? And how often will guys just resort to, hey, I got to make this tackle, and I really wasn't thinking anything other than get this guy down. And, technique went out the window, and I had to make the tackle. Like you said, here comes Derrick Henry. What do you want me to do? So I understand the rule, but it'll be a headache. There's no doubt the NFL will make it a headache more than will make there will be more people angry at the rule than there ever were at any injuries from a hip drop tackle, right?
Well, and just think about it. I mean, if it's a big 230-pound running back down the field against a DB, if you're a DB, you're going to give up that penalty rather than the touchdown. So I don't know if it's going to change too much, to be honest. But we'll see. I mean, it will make guys try to wrap with their arms better, and it will make guys try to, hit, and get these guys to the ground. The whole like holding on as the guy, rumbles down the field, that's those days have come and gone. You're not going to be able to, because once you've hit Derrick Henry and he's still moving, and you're 195 pounds, what's stopping the train? Nothing.
I want to know, will it be challengeable? Like if you get an official saying that's an illegal tackle, will you be able to challenge that? Or is it going to be like pass interference where you're not allowed to challenge the referee's opinion? Speaking of challenges, it's another rule change that we have. Coaches who get one challenge correct will now be granted a third challenge. You used to have to get both challenges correct. I would just say that the NFL should just basically have a constant challenge official just looking at everything at all times. And I think everything should be challengeable. I think
the challenge system's garbage. I think it's absolutely garbage. It predicates an outcome and it favors an outcome. It's like, we're calling it on the field, and now we need overwhelming video evidence to overturn it. Why do that? Why if you don't know the call enough where you need to replay it, why not just do what they do in horse racing? Inquiry. Instead of a yellow flag, throw up a red flag. There is no call. So now we can just go to the booth and without any bias, without any advantage, we can just look at the video replay and make a decision. Why do we have to have, well, it was ruled a fumble on the field, and now we need overwhelming video evidence to overturn it? Stop pretending like these guys on the field are just the end all be all.
Right.
These are plays that they didn't get right a lot of the time. Just inquiry. You know, it happens in the horse race. You're watching at Santa Anita. There's two horses bobbing heads down the stretch. You know, it looks like the one beat the seven, but you're not really sure. They go to an inquiry. They don't say the one horse beat the seven horse.
And unless we find indisputable horsey evidence.
Unless we absolutely prove it, because now you got bodies in the middle and you can't see, and you got angles, and then certain games you got more cameras than other games. And it's just kind of it predetermines one outcome. And I think it kind of makes the officials call it, you know, a certain way, because it's like, oh, we'll just call what's safe, and then we'll get the replay. I would rather just have the inquiry and get it right. Get it right. Don't tell me you need overwhelming video evidence. Just get it right. And then at least you're taking a major step towards more transparency and less. I mean, they have a system, but is the system foolproof in any way? No. And do they want it to be foolproof in any way? No. It's like, we want a system that like protects the feelings of the officials, and, you know, makes some sense compared to, as far as we'll rule it this way and we'll give them the upper hand. You're already saying by going to replay that it was too fast for them. So why take them? Why just alleviate their situation and just be like, it was too fast, we're throwing the flag, and now we're going to see what really happened.
Well, I mean, the rule change that I think everyone's waiting for is NFL officials are going to be full-time officials, and they're going to be training and working round, 12 months of the year on NFL. That's it. They should be full-time league employees, and this is really probably going to make the rule, the sport better than anything else. And why the NFL refuses to do it is it's beyond me. Tom Pelissero, Larry, has the final rule change for us. The NFL Competition Committee unanimously approved a tweak in the proposed NFL hybrid kickoff rule, making touchbacks that go into the end zone on the fly come out to the 30-yard line instead of the 35. The change provides kicking teams with less punitive option if they don't want to take the chance on a long return. The adjusted rule proposal will be presented to owners for a possible vote later today. So
fine, I guess. I mean,
sure.
I'm not gonna, it's a minor change. I don't understand why you have it. Why have kickoff returns if you were so deathly afraid of what the kickoff return play produces injury wise? Why have it? Why have it at all?
I don't like teams in this league making rules like concerned Pop Warner mothers. Like, it's a brutal sport. Guys are paid an awful lot of money to put their bodies through the meat grinder. You can't take the violence out of the game. It's inherent to the game. It's part of what you're selling. And just stop. Just stop. If you really care about the players, give universal health care to them and their families if they play a single down for you. There you go. Now I know you care. All this stuff is, I don't get it. I really don't.
I mean, it sounds terrible that we're in lockstep on this one, but that makes sense. Think about it this way. If you're the NFL, everybody knows football is violent. It's not like, the XFL is not violent. The CFL is not violent. High school football is not violent. College football is violent. So it's not like the NFL invented violence, right? They're just the highest level of football, and football is violent. Okay, so I agree with you wholeheartedly. What greater PR could there ever be to say that anybody who makes it to the NFL, you make it to the NFL, you have lifetime health care? Would it be expensive? Yeah. But guess what they have? Gobs and gobs and gobs of cash.
Right.
And
Their
guess what
money
they
goes
eat?
to infinity.
And guess what they should be absolutely care the most about? The health and well-being of the guys who put on the uniform. That is the product. And to me, that would be a very strong argument. Hey, you know what? We know our game's violent. We know our game's injury filled. But every single guy who ever plays any snaps in the NFL has lifetime medical. We can't do any better than that. At that point, you can celebrate that. You can look your customers in the eye. Now the violence in the game is not a guilty pleasure. Now everybody who signs up for it also is covered. Nobody's out there operating, without a net, so to speak. Right now, there's the NFL is like, if you're a quarterback, you have like lifetime you've got financial guarantees and assurances that are incredible. If you're just a guy in the NFL, you're just like I mean, it's like a soldier for hire almost. It's like, let's see what can happen first. Do you die first, or does your body break down first, or do you get paid first? I mean, that's what it's at. I mean, these guys are in a rough deal where they're throwing their bodies around and there's no guaranteed money. And if you're hurt, you're done. And just the culture of football for the non-star is just so much worse than the culture of football for the star. And that they've got to do something to make it not so dramatically different between being a have and a have not, because that's what makes the preseason so weird, is that you got guys who are just tiptoeing through it going, let me get to week 1. That's when my deal becomes guaranteed. And then you got guys going, I'm throwing my body around because I don't care if it's preseason game number 3. This is my Super Bowl Sunday, because if I don't make this team, I'm going to be, bagging groceries. And so I got to play a million miles an hour. And that's what coaches fear. They fear the guy playing a million miles an hour, hitting somebody that is just trying to get to week 1. So it to me, that's a major problem in the game. Somehow they've got to take care of their players better. They've got to compensate their lower level players better.
Well, I'm sure that there will be people flocking to the chat to call me some, like West Coast liberal pussy or something like that. But I believe.
You got my chat?
Yeah, thank you. No, but seriously, I believe that your status, your wealth should not affect the healthcare coverage that you receive. It shouldn't. Everyone should be treated the same. You should get the best possible care, whether you're, a quarterback, a guard, a CEO, a homeless person who walked into the hospital. Shouldn't matter. You should get the best possible health care that we can give to a human if you're a human. So I think that the NFL could do itself, a world of PR good, and beyond just being PR good, a world of good by granting this to players. And would it cost an awful lot of money? Not to the NFL, it really wouldn't. No, it would be
it would cost
hundreds of millions. It would be hundreds of millions of dollars, and hundreds of millions of dollars can be found in the NFL's couch cushions.
Yeah. Well, and come on, you cannot open your arms to a whole new revenue stream of gambling and embrace it so fully, and then tell us that, and then Roger Goodell with his bullshit, I'm going to hug you like you're my own personal son on draft day, because it's a brotherhood. How about, a little less brotherhood talk and a little bit more lifetime medical talk?
Yeah.
Because like the 49ers have created the Golden Heart Fund. The Miami Dolphins have copied it. They have created their version of the Golden Heart Fund. Those are 2 teams in the league. The rest of the league is just, you're just SOL. So, the 49ers have a foundation that helps your retired players get, guy's house burnt down last year. Guy needed money right away. They helped that player, Another guy may have a tragedy of some kind. It just cuts out the middleman. It streamlines the payment. The money gets to the source much faster, and it's the right damn thing to do. And Eddie D talked about it in his Hall of Fame speech. Let's get back to being a family. And the Niners do it, the Dolphins do it, and there's talk of other teams copying it. But to this point, it hasn't happened yet. That, at least, I mean, that's like a good fallback, for a league that doesn't have, medical forever for all of its players. But if they did, you probably wouldn't need programs like that. But I'm glad to see that those programs are starting to sprout up.